Awusanfo yamamunyina ajo UTV so enie omayimu ene amahudo so nsem ayensa kadea poapoa no eno na adru so ayede ebremu efri abeka junction ewo enkrakropon mu na this way chocolate drink studio here ene enso special ice eno nsu mu odo ene mu nso eye krojin ena for special drinks eno nso ebugwa hodo do pebia no won be ma obi ato sa enwumakwe ene aboafo enkaye na akambom aso yasene ID enwumre kasebo no ebremu sanso ena DSTV channel 360 kasebo no yetwa eguso na debedi emu akutini bi enie
CEO awoda CEO networks ano ede atu edwa se ankrankra ene se womo ebetwa suo akọ amonone na akọpẹ nkrofo ni womo akeka bomu aye adwuma no eno beboa empuntuo pa
sanso ana ranking member Emma Energy Committee e omrashibedwafie wakasa de atodwa se mrashibedwafo opposition form omrashibedwafie e de nsia kantam se kwan bia so won befa won betimi bia na $12 million akwakọ ruwa palugu eye multi-purpose dam ni mu no womo ensa etumi aka
enkane mampanyi John Dramani Mahama wakasa e de atu edwa se won tia se sidi no wato from say team ama dollar ni mom na edwane
sanso and Bank of Ghana mpanyufo akasa dia to dwase bosia mekire lease money bia ya womo edema commercial bank for no ehun policy rate no eyade a se de wonom ayen 29%.
Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia HSN kanema mpanyi Mahama baaye no wo the unemployment na ebaaye afei wo the dum sonso pay so
sanso ena adehia wonom ewo adoy eno ewo oduma se sunyan west kropomu ewo bono mantemu womo ede atodwa se ekwan a womo nam so no na mianum nukrenie enkoyie kra
ensempi ka ho ne de bramo kasebo emomidi de akosi asapo menen
afia edutumbwa nyosa
afe ye ko ensem ni mu ede a Asante hine otumfo osei tutu ede ato Ghana de hye nyina anim se ebeye se enei oman se de esi etie no ye nia ye beye ambassadors ye namo a na ye bo ho dawro kire ne ye wo se de ebeye omanfo ebehunu se ye wade a eye
Asantefo adehia omo Norway ewo Europe abrochmemu aka omo ho abom a omo ada ekuo na di bekire asanteman Norway ena afeso so no omo asa asi asantefo ehine Norway ne no ena asante no tumfo osetutu a otosomi no na wosese adwumadie oko ne no ena osoma saben akrofuom hene nana osei kofi ene ni nuanom a omo kosi nanaimu na mra saben akrofuom hene ekasa ena wo kyese omo wura asante hene ede afutu ma omo se wom so obi man so eno mo enso wom na suban pa edi ewo honom adwuma bi omo ye bia omo nya so omo ye Ghana fo sere be ya wom so no adwuma omo eye no nipa ni bi kura be hwe omo suban ene abraba omo bo no hono na omo tima ba be boa Ghana na okire mu se eyade a empuntudwuma ewo oman Ghana na aban kwa entime enye ento omo so a omo tu kwan omo bobra ewo obi man so no omo so emwa sere be ya investors betime free amanone abepie mu ewo Ghana
on say Eurasa kai Yemaya Santi Indian. It is the same na ne nana no mo wa manone ekikan hu bom pija asante ya mamre ne amane ene moa e wo se etime bua ma asante ne Ghana pija dia seti bia asante hene eye enije semma no enam se ebinum atutu akwan abetratra abrofu kruma on kan po se we Ghana ni na nkampese wabeye santini mpo enti se ye kai ye ho se ni omu kan omu se omu ma mmofra omu awu omu haron so no online omu kire omu santi amamre ni amane ene santi kasa no enti se tie bia santi hene sana na koma ohwehwe se ebitimi aye asante enye honko asante owiase ba bia nanso dwumadie sei ekoso a ene da asante ediye eboama abrofo ni wiase nyina etimi hunu sene asante etie enti Ghana fo a ewo amanfoforo so yebesre won omoma asante enso nadi wo ho
eno achi nana kota ntiamoa asisi a wono eno kopie mu ewo Norway abrochimemu a wono ena ye asantefo ehine wo ho ono so de aseda eni nkabia ede ma asante hine otumfo osetutu otoso mienu
se tiamanone a na wo se yetimi ema ya sante semsu ehia na de yenkoso eba ne koso ne de ebi ne se bi ebrusa bi so kasa ye kire nananom ye manom no muso be hu asante amamre ne asante amane enu nti ade a ehia se yebetimi aye bibisi ama animunyam ne asante enso atre afa ne ntoma pefra
enu achi saa dwumadi enam se na ehu hie nti no deputy mayor a wono owo Belgium ewo Norway Thomas Freshland ono so ebepie ma onoma odi aseda ede ma Ghana fo na ohwe amane ne amamra wo modanadio na eso ani.
We are very glad that Asanteman Norway has chosen to establish here in our beautiful city. Cultural diversity is a strength for our society. It gives us the opportunity to learn from each other, to understand each other's backgrounds and build bridges between cultures. Bergen has always been a city that treasures diversity, and we are glad to have such a rich and diverse city. I would also use the opportunity to thank Asanteman Norway for what you are doing to promote cultural unity and understanding. Through your activities and engagement, you contribute to create a more living and dynamic cultural community in our city.
I was on 4 years to akase bono eso ye Bank of Ghana for etai ema commercial banks no sika emomo de ye adwuma na sa sika ho hwehye ye policy rate no wo mo edi atodwa se wo maye no ha mu nchemu aduonu enkono 29%. na we na Bank of Ghana panyifo achem se we ni de toso mienu e wa afimu a wonom esigira ya etisa.
On general macroeconomic conditions, the committee was of the view that while implementation of policies at the macro and structural reform level are consistent and align well with the tenets of the IMF-supported program, there is the need to ensure that the recent depreciation of the currency does not become embedded into the pricing behavior of businesses and on inflation expectations. The strong build-up of about $2 billion since the beginning of the IMF program, the strong disinflation process, the significant progress on fiscal policy consolidation, the positive current account balances, and the good progress on external debt restructuring process have all worked in concert to deliver enough buffers to support the exchange rate. The latest forecast shows a slightly elevated inflation profile on account of recent exchange rate pressures and adjustments in transportation fares. However, the projections show that inflation will remain within the monetary policy consultation clause of 13 to 17% at the end of the year. These forecasts are contingent on sustaining the tight monetary policy stance, including aggressive liquidity management operations. Given these considerations, the committee decided to maintain the monetary policy rate at 29%.
Say kase Bank of Ghana wonom HSE ene wo hwe cedi no a se de dollar no esi edi cedi no atofom no enam so ama Bank of Ghana panyina woda ano ora Addison de atudwa se wo de monetary team enam a wo hwe Forest Bureau ahodo no se obi ma na omesisa dollar emfa nkonkosie afa won mo any license o mo ye adwuma no ka kire wo se o mo ba beta wo mo pa kopem se won sabe so wo.
With the high demand pressures on the foreign exchange market, the bank has taken steps in the past few weeks to directly absorb foreign exchange needs of some corporate institutions, and this has led to a reduced pipeline demand for foreign exchange from the commercial banks. The bank is fully aware of the operations of illegal operators in the foreign exchange market and is working with the Financial Intelligence Center to sanitize the market. Foreign Exchange Bureau monitoring will be stepped up to ensure compliance with their regulatory framework. In line with this, all foreign exchange bureaus advertising rates outside their premises and on social media platforms must immediately desist from the practice. The bank has set up a task force to monitor all the foreign exchange bureaus to ensure compliance. The foreign exchange market is also affected by sentiments and pronouncements made in this election year, and we urge all to manage pronouncements which weakens confidence in the local economy. From importers diverting foreign exchange demand requirements into informal markets, increasing speculative demand for foreign exchange. The Bank of Ghana, however, has adequate reserves to manage these shocks to the foreign exchange market, having added over $600 million to the current foreign exchange reserve levels over the first 5 months of the year. The improved reserves position is also backed by strong liquid monetary gold holdings of over 26.6 tons, estimated at $2.1 billion as a result of the very successful domestic gold purchase program. The Bank of Ghana remains fully committed to provide stability in the exchange rate for the cedi. The bank has enough foreign exchange reserves to support the market, and economic agents should stop engaging in speculative purchases, as they will suffer economic losses when the correction occurs. The Bank of Ghana is taking measures to improve market conduct and instill sanity in the market for foreign exchange. To this end, the bank has worked with the Ghana Association of Banks to streamline documentation requirements for foreign payments to minimize the incentives to resort to the informal market.
Say yet Ghana, Nanso Ushemwa, Yedi Abrofuno Esika, and Emma Bebrio Honoma, or Ghana, Habebusane Bono, as a $5,000, $10,000, $200, $100. Nanso so Ghana City in India, no more debate to Yamanusu. Na eno, ena senior lecturer, Emma University of Ghana, Dr. Edu Owususa Akodie. Wakasa honde de sedia to abanim say eni diema da won hwe na oni Ghana Bank of Ghana fo nka ontoma ma no na eniema akudro e wo Ghana hase a yede abrofusika e na atoso no womunya ho mra be kwa nkomu ntwam na no betumi aboa ama sidi no a na hoode no kwa na ekofom no emu asan apejapi
owo sika wa save asie or I find on reserves no he has enough the ohono eso to the extent so bet media market no ama see na ho de na page na short term animu ye no wakase forest bureau omo ton see no ni ade $1 ni ade no omo rate no mo publish no omo fancy dem omo fa ma abontin because of the speculation and misinformation and disinformation say and say dede and ompanyin ko ka dede sika mpede da amafo twe ne sere ni abasa no say dede bi wo ho enya no kra ema speculation enya no kra ema sidi na ho de take from nti omo sere governance so sere say dede na wo around the money no speculation yente so enya dia yes task for be call round am ko monitor say o $1 na o to akoya de papa anasa wo to akosie no wa kan so abon kokose wo mo to asie ni nyina no o mbe lose value because Bank of Ghana no start and then watch now start so this can be guma wo de wato no once a rate not here be say number 15 and fan say 15 na ba bia the next 1 week no na etiko 14 na etiko 13 na etiko 11 na wa wato so wo ko sie keke no wo be lose de wato ko di dwane de fair na but de wato di sie no wo be lose nti yenya saa nyoma no na sidi na ho de nti menyina emre mi to kwan ko South Africa mi kra dollars hotel for so money dollars nti me nko bank nko sesa into rand and sana amada hotel anadwo no me ko sesa ansa na metimi ada nti eni kwan say ye price ye nyoma bo school private school no price in school fees in dollars all these things you know real estate and hotels ni na wasi ejai enya de papa na sidi na ho de na etimi ejina I think say we should strengthen the laws and enforce it so that be am go be jai this pricing of items in dollars another one among for can be say the retention law say companies back Ghana be di dwa no senka omunya omu profit a omu fa nyina nko mu krom omu nsie ebi wo Ghana ha ne ye Ghana na economy no ntimi mpagya eno so sa law no so ho o say etimi enforce na sika na ebi gina eka oman black market no there posing a threat to the management of the currency because on says Forest Bureau ne banks no there easy Bank of Ghana betima mom direct betima share a friend share mu but omo mo gina abonten no abochi mu no de den se obetimi akwachi wo mu nti but se utimi manage Forest Bureau na manage interbank rate na abochi for no ombe follow nti untimi manage wo de jawo mu na manage omo betima manage wo mu ko street for no ebe follow amom so omo se rate wo no kofoma omo so di America edo mu rate no ombete so ka say hey asojafo omo bepam omo a ebe say nti current sika ba bia sika wo no dede no you have to be tactical in the approach into our Bank of Ghana we use tactical means so policy force in shemu no be shia say meeting no be ya omo use tactical approach na gradually yen fade you out so that be ya but bia ne obi kan remittances are back Ghana had more than $2 billion. I was saying by this time, more dollars in the system. Sika, you know, more abon the best way. But so, the correct channel, bank, Forest Bureau, won't send them feature any other. Into this informality, no more most street as some now kind a hard.
Ebusiafo ya je aboafo nkrato aba ye ba ye beto akase bonus. Yemamo akwaba yeto akase bonoso.
Openya wono na etu franka ediama NDC amanyekuo no mechere kane mampanyi Owura John Dramani Mahama wakasa ede atudwa se nyame ya adom na NDC amanyekuo no wonom eba edwaso a wakyese omo de technology pa na ebe ya adwuma asesa Ghana ama Ghana afa ne ntuma pefra kyese AI nyina no wonom ede be ya adwuma na saa ensemi wodi tudwa ewo 8th Ghana CEO Summit no ase won crime.
I'm honored to address you again at this August annual CEO Summit. Time flies, and it feels like just like yesterday when we met to address the challenges affecting businesses and industry in the current gloomy business climate that has enveloped our nation. During our last meeting, I emphasized the importance of collaboration in tackling our country's issues. And I stress the need for government to ensure a supportive business environment and economic stability for businesses to thrive. I also highlighted issues such as limited access to credit, high taxation, inflation, and regulatory hurdles, and urged greater cooperation between governments and business. I drew attention to the significance of digital transformation as a crucial factor for Ghana's economic progress. Additionally, I elaborated on the advantages of implementing a 24-hour economic policy to enhance competitiveness, attract investments, improve socio-economic development, and stimulate private sector growth. Ladies and gentlemen, throughout history, people have always used the best available resources and tools to achieve specified objectives. A few decades ago, movies like The Terminator and Total Recall seemed like far-fetched ideas. But today we're living in the era of AI, machine learning, and robotics, and there seems no turning back. In my various presentations, I've mentioned that the next NDC administration under my leadership will fully embrace technologies, including AI as a key development paradigm in our governance. It is fitting, therefore, that this summit is themed Reigniting Business and Economic Growth, Charting a Path Forward, Economic Diversification, and Artificial Intelligence Transformation.
Wojumedie krono ase na nka ne mampanyi John Dramani Mahama ekasa edefa Ghana cedi no a sabre eswate hwinon.
As leaders in our respective industries and champions of economic progress, we are acutely aware of our country's current challenges and difficulties. Today we stand at a critical and troubling crossroads. Our beloved country, Ghana, has become a bankrupt, collapsed economy due to poor leadership of almost 8 years. This leadership has failed Ghanaians and yet refuses to accept or even take responsibility for the most reckless management of our economy known in previous history. This has plunged our nation into an unprecedented economic crisis and is reported to have pushed more than 800,000 of our fellow citizens below the poverty line. Unemployment has jumped to 14.7% from 8.5% in 2017, the highest level recorded in the history of the Fourth Republic. Inflation is above 25%, and current interest rates range between 30 and 50%. The exchange rate, which was previously at 4 cedis to the US dollar, has crossed the 15 Ghana cedi threshold, and there appears to be no end in sight to the deterioration of the poor city. And on a humorous note, this is long after government inaugurated a high-powered committee, 38-member committee, to investigate causes of the depreciation of the city in 2022. Despite this government appears unconcerned or unwilling to cut expenditure and continues to spend more on creature comforts instead of investing in the transformational infrastructure that will propel this nation forward.
Awusanfo sa dwumade ase na omampanyi abedi ekire ono anso etu franka ede ama MP pamanyoko no afi abato ne mu Dr. Muhammad Bawumia kasaye ne mu no de etu dwase kane mampanyi owura John Dramani Mahama memo epenso no wo kire se nipa dodo no a na omunya adwuma nye enam eyedum so nti tese wode be se nema bebre wa ye bi kura mpo no anasa bi nheda nkoso na asa egu kura de aka ho na wose wono na penso idie eyade a enwuma eno no so abekreti.
His economy that he was managing basically turned down. Unemployment was very high. We endured 4+ years of doomsday. Agricultural productivity declined. GDP growth in agriculture was very, very low. Industrial growth, because of doomsday, also collapsed. And they had to cancel teacher training allowances. They couldn't pay. They had to cancel nursing training allowances. They couldn't pay. They had a 3-month pay policy for teachers, for working for 3 years and be paid for 3 months. Chalk in school was a problem. Many parents were not able to educate their children because they couldn't afford senior high school education, and the government could not. Even if you cannot buy chalk for schools, how do you have free senior high school education? Investment in TVET was very low, and all of that. So this was the background against which we came into government. And if you look at what we have done in the last 7 years, and we are now in our 8th year, it is very clear. If you look at all the routine things that governments do in the area of development, we have done much more and performed much better than his government. With all due respect, we have. If you look at the agricultural sector, for example, the growth rate in agriculture is twice what he left. Even in the presence of this crisis, we are doing about a 6% average growth rate in agriculture over and he left us with about 2.something%. So industry, we are doing better than what he left. So you are talking about an economy that has collapsed, but that collapsed economy is performing better than your economy that you left us. We have created more jobs, 2.1 million jobs than any government in the Fourth Republic. He was creating unemployment with doomsday and everything. We are creating jobs, 1.2 million jobs in the public sector, 975,000 jobs in the private sector. And all of this is data that we have put out for everybody. We've constructed more roads than any other government in the Fourth Republic.
Ranking member ewo mrashibedwemu a woda energy committee no eso ono asoso na wo hwe enkanekra na oyo osafo a wo hwe energy nsem so ewo NDC apenso onimonyamfo John Jinapo wadi edom kuma a wono mo mrashibedwemu a wo mo hwe committee a eno hwe energy nsem so amodwani akire Poalugu multipurpose dam no wo mo akwa neno na wo mo ekire se woman ho den de ombetimi bia no sika best $12 million na wode akwakoshe Poalugu multipurpose dam nimu nenso mkoduru ho no contractor no site office kra no enya de a watimi aye ewo ho.
There's a delegation from the minority side of the Mines and Energy Committee and some leadership from the National Democratic Congress and a delegation from the chiefs within the area. We are here to observe and inspect for ourselves the level of progress in respect of the Poalugu multipurpose dam. As you would recall, in 2019, His Excellency President Akufo-Addo and Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia were here. They cut the sword for the construction of the Poalugu multipurpose dam, estimated at almost $1 billion. The president assured that the project will be completed in 48 months. And so as we speak, by now, the project should have been completed and commissioned. we have received numerous reports indicating that no work is being done. And so we are here to witness for ourselves the state of the construction. We've engaged the paramount chief, we've engaged the community, and we are here ourselves to see for ourselves the status of the work. I can confirm to you that so far, almost $12 million has been paid to the contractor. At today's exchange rate of about 16 CD, that translates to about 192 million Ghana cedis. And as you can see, nothing, and I mean nothing, is being done here.
And by virtue of the fact that the promise was coming from their own son, they believed that at least if all politicians were not even truthful, their son will not deceive them. But unfortunately, Dr. Bawumia has become the worst disappointment to his own people. We visited the chief, and the chief was so sad. He tried as much as possible to be apolitical, but at least he was talking about development. Even the route that we took to this place suggests that there was no intention to have anything done. But usually for very major construction or projects like this, usually there are some infrastructure that is always created first to allow vehicles to come in and other things. It was so terrible. And so, just as my ranking indicated, this is a project that actually, if you look at some of the feasibility studies that had been done under the NDC. So this is a project that His Excellency John Dramani Mahama would prioritize. And I'm convinced that sometimes the best people who can really develop your area are people you think are not your children. And John Mahama has demonstrated that this is not for a political gain, but it's just to create jobs for people. Because if you look at the number of people who live northeast to the south, it's huge. And instead of Bawumia trying to create jobs here, he's rather building hostels for them to come and stay. To keep them there. And that is a very, anytime you are from this area and you think about it, you know that, look, this man does not think well for the people of Ghana, and particularly the people of Northeast.
I was on 4 year chair, one basis here.
Yeah, mama akwa abaye to akasebo no eso. Encheye ena mampanyi ehye KPMG ma wo mo ekoye hwehwemu efa GRA ne SML wo mo deal no ho. Ema wo the report beto presidency. Eno nam so ama programs officer oda Ghana Anti-Corruption Coalition ano Ora Samuel Harrison Kujo. Wose said the contract no wo mo eche se ya ntwam no no nko a enya de a eno nko aye e wose ye de bibi ka ho asotwe ana se hwehwemu bi enkoso Emma pepepe ye se e wose ye de obi mpo gina court a ye fa dipa kro no nko gina.
Yes, KPMG reporting my reporting is silent on whether minister or Troy normal approval the GRA for warmer contract na. But result reporting can pay fee the yama parliamentary approval. Inti yebuye constitution do yebuyen public financial management act do yebuyen public procurement act do. I think the president what terminate contract no nkotin no onye enough or the assumption or one or the yedi mamanfon yedi mon one or the ye yunedi fee abane adwumayem the way buyanem bradon or the president ohwe na oyinwonedi inti report na president order to program nyina yensa cabinet day or you fine but that is not the end, or that is only the beginning of the process. Or those who have breached the law no, should be punished for breaching the law, and those who have to remove from office, and so we should make sure that they are removed from office, so that next time no yedi obifufuru si anenma also onye that same mistake. Section 96 of your public financial law no or chede nipa biara obey unauthorized commitment de obema aban aboka wabra parliament ama approval another wenya approval infi minister or ana wenya approval from the necessary quarters no either there say yedinigina court na yebu no fa between 6 months and 5 years in prison. Another yebo between 100 and 2,500 penalty units. I think the other president should yes set in place the legal issues. Yes, KPMG report nima. KPMG nye industry players ni bidin komo. Na 57% of them are oye oha ni chem eduonume son. Ye fanyipa 157. Ma yeta say the SML deal na yedema no there was no value as in there yehu bibi different biara from the aban indwuma warrior. In fact echo report ni ye mpa wo me yeta say the flow meters are was we installing no or just about 2023 yara in a way install them flow meters no.
MPP aban eba edwaso no na sika krabia ana banks bebre no mahodin o sika semu no na yade ana ewofom ye pa eno nti afi 2019 ena aban no eye financial sector cleanup me kowiase woni a na won sika sam ewofom no eja yegugu no me kowiase tumi krata lines na mo de adwuma no po aban ejifiri wo munsam de kokaye no wo ka bomu eye no consolidated bank na banks a aban no eji wo mutumi krata license efiri wo munsam no na GN Bank eka ho na sa banki Dr. Parko Sindium kane presidential candidate ema Convention People's Party CPP onyoko no ene dia papa wakasa ama osre abaise ene die manda wonhwe na GN Bank omo license no gi free wonsam no wonsan fa wade ema wo mesan say na bank no wo momma Ghana for ye Ghanaian contractors no na omo bosia na contractors no so na aban ene ma wo mu adwuma ninti kobasa na omu ni sikom de be ya na GN Bank for amomu sika no mo dia ye.
That's not what an investment company does. You don't go and dig a hole in the ground and then when you come I go and dig it back up and say here is your 1,000 or 2,000 Ghana cedis. We invest the money. And where do you invest the money? It means you give loans. You give credit. You pre-finance or finance activities. And because we know the importance of infrastructure development in this country, we decided, Group Indo, not just GN Bank, but Group Indo, including what used to be called Gold Coast, now Black Shield. We decided that what Ghana needs the most is infrastructure development. And if nobody's credit is good, should that include government? Government's credit should be good, not so?
Yes, sir.
So if you decide to give money, credit, to finance the activities of Ghanaian contractors, that money, it should come back. So where is that money? That money is with the government of Ghana and its agencies, and they know. They know. The former finance minister, Ken Ofori-Atta, knows. The current finance minister, Dr. Amin Adam, he knows. The head of Cocoa Board, we financed cocoa roads. They used to be the safest activity you can engage in. We invested in schools. So many schools that you might see here and there, it is monies from our companies that pre-finance them. You go all over the place. You will find it. Roads, bridges, schools, and so many others. If you go to Discove, it's a sea defense project. It has been there. That project was started more than 7 years ago. That contractor has spent millions and millions working on that project. Not one peswa has been paid to that contractor.
City group of companies womo edibibi foforo kra ababetum we eye City Hotel ewo Tema Community 25 na abra opanyini a wono ena woda adwumakoyi anomekire Chief Executive Officer woda City Hotel anora Isaac Kwabena Ofori Amoako opanyi kire se sa hotel we nyina ebeboa ma hospitality industry no etimi akọ nanim afa ohwe se de wo mo asi aye no no a ahoho obefra mo no ne aba na wode wani ebekire epomu ho no wo mbenya baabi ede wo muti ato afei ade a broni beka say definition of Ghana no eno so ade bi ode egu apono so eno betimi aboa eno nti obia betimi atukwan abepie mo Ghana ha na okọ Tema Community 25 a ubenya baabi de niti ato
City group of companies na what we ya na ye mebo so mede to so aduonu num fempene ne aduonu nan na womu ebi womu hotel gina brand no ano Michelle Dallas brand new hotel City Hotel no ano e Tema Community 25 City Hotel a ye ka ho asami egina brempon so ankasa 54 rooms presidential suite rooftop swimming pool conference rooms a enipa kakra bi anase enipa bebre mpoka so wo mu edi ahyiamu edi dwumadi awodo se ye party anase event bi a wo hono a wo betimi aye swimming pool foforo nso e wo hono a eno no ba no eben enchen a kire se mukasa mu ye bibia wo hono a mo betimi aye hairdressing salon so hwem barbering salon so hwem afei garage ne nso wo hono nso esun yie pa bambon salon nso wo hono nso egina brane ye wo gym nso wo hono a wo kwo hono a beka se ampa we de fie ni fie ankasa enti aya no akọ hono no abomodin a akwadwodwo ho akodi udwumade bia wo City Hotel na obehunu se ampa baby pa e wo my Ghana kofare by ono nsan pani kwanhwefo da City Hotel ano Oversight Kwabena Ofori Amoako e kire botaye nti a wo si hotel brani sei e wo Ghana hanom a wo de baba sum Ghana de hye ene akwansrafo nyina
hotels yakoko bia na so bedru City Hotel abetimi ehunu se City Hotel de ye danso dentina make sa na say ye wo full modern gym abibia ye gym de ye ahode apomodimo adwuma de obetimi anya bi wo gym ho ye sans wo salon ne spa aye ti it waba na so ti hunya ye be ya ma wo pese massage wa ye be ya ma wo ti hunya na ba so ko baba shop a ni nyina bi wa ha your restaurant chef for bono odua ne noa kama both local and continental. And also the chair and say a company, a bino, na basa so die pa. Nino, just City Hotel. Yes, also big swimming pool. Nipa best 100 betimi and the mam na broso. Swimming pool anya ba ko pe o. Ye wo mi enu. Ba ko sanso da dan so pa dan na pampem. O ba dan 1 2 3 4. What do 4 no? Na pampem say the swimming pool asanto ama. Yes, ama sky bar. A bibia pe bia drink bia pe bia ba sanso nya. Swimming pool kese da for man so and so sa. And also so yes, and so the bar aka ho bio. ansa na de keka de bebrebe enti no ene ye be se Ghana for hunu say your greater hospitality firm what am come to 25
obi so beka say bia hotel ahodo wo other regions no but we damusronko oba hanum say a comfort ne unique with peace of mind, no noise, all the facilities never hanina we use so abun say wo fie so we fifie so wo fie hospitality firm no so enye bibia ye be ye free tourism na ya de ewo me we say ye shemu kina na ye encourage hospitality firm no to do more.
I want Ghanaians to see this, the residents of Tema to see this as obi akoma pa anasa adwin pa o Ghana. No one fancy can invest wa brochiri no dey be invest wa and is a wunya obina or the BBC esi wo or nisika she bibi mu say a boa bibiri enu nti na media me say benya yemrantie na omo ntu musika mu no ndo musika be she hotel mu anas hospitality facilities mu na benefit Ghana a benefit wo mo ankasa me I like it.
Sika ofia nkwada nsu anajo agoja na wotwe wiye ozo me ekọ home wo
sister I was say ekọ ya bre I was say ekọ na ekọ home e bia ekọ e be me discount
we discount kwa ye ntua
okay ni
tie de chance
ye kan say o mo hwe wa hwe nti obo se ba ebusia for ha say ne de kase ebo no si mi di akosi asapo me ne
afia editu ba mo san ye damase e mamomo eni hwa enyado